Chapter 40. Croaky steps out of the shadows and stares at me. His hair is sticking up even more wildly, and he's still wearing Grandad's t-shirt, only now it's ripped and grubby. Suddenly he grins, and his smile is so wide that a couple of stitches pop open, and some straw floats to the ground. Amazing! Raw's mighty masters, Rose and Arthur Trout, simply walk into their very own dungeon. Let us out, I say, standing as close to the bars as I dare. Rose appears at my side. Let us take our Grandad and go home, she says. You never have to see us again. Croaky's eyes grow wide. Oh, but I want to see you, Rose. I want to see you all the time. What do you mean? His fingers grip the bars. I worked something out that everyone else was too stupid to notice. He pushes his sack face against the bars. We need you. You always disappeared for a while, went to home or whatever that place is called. And then you turn up again like a bad smell. This is too much for Rose. We're the bad smell. Croaky puts a finger to his lips. Shh. Then, one day, you just stopped coming. Months, then years passed with no sign of Arthur or Rose. At first, it was marvellous. The mischief I caused. His face lights up before twisting into a scowl. But strange things started to happen. First, there were the earth wobbles. Then holes appeared in the most inconvenient places, and things started to disappear. The unicorns were the first to go. I couldn't care less about them. But when these stopped working, he hunches his shoulders, letting his wings unfold until they're brushing the sides of the tunnel. They beat once, twice, sending a single feather floating through the bars. I was furious, and all because of you. But I wasn't going to sit in my castle mouldering. I built my army, I made spies that could fly for me. But what good were they if Raw was splitting in two? Although it pains me to say, without Arthur and Rose Trout, Raw falls apart. Literally. How do you know all these things happen because of us? My words must sound hollow, because Croaky throws his head back and cackles. Ha 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 ha! It has everything to do with you. When you turned up at the crow's nest, I flew for the first time in years. Rose shakes her head in disbelief. So what? You're just going to keep us here? He smiles and nods. I spent hours in that tunnel, waiting for you to come back. Then finally, that old man came through, and when he started calling out for Arthur, well, I knew it was only a matter of time until you came looking for him. Yes, I'm keeping you here, Rose Trout. I'm keeping you here forever. Croaky says these words with such relish that dread sweeps through me. Will we be in a case on the news? 2 children and their Grandad who vanished during their summer holiday. Rose must feel this too, because she grabs hold of my arm. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. But I won't just keep you here, Rose. I'll terrify you here. Down in my dungeon, you won't be feeling happy thoughts. I'll keep you scared. I'll keep you wondering what wicked things I'm going to do next. But why? Asks Rose. He presses his face into the bars. For fun, Rose, because it's what I do. I grab Rose's hand and she squeezes my fingers tight. I've enjoyed waiting for you to find your way here, Croaky continues. I've managed every little moment of panic you've had, every scare, every pinprick of fear, and it felt good. This is too much for Rose. Let us out. You can't keep us here. Yes, I can, Rose. But I won't keep the old man. I have no use for him now he's lured you to me. Well, except as food. With a grin, Croaky grabs a lever set in the wall and yanks it down. A groaning, clanking sound throbs through the chamber and the stones under our feet start to tremble. Then the whole floor starts to slide back, taking us with it. "Arthur! Rose!" says Grandad. "What's going on?" When we turn round, we understand. The floor of the chamber is disappearing into the walls and a gaping hole is opening up. If the floor doesn't stop moving soon, Grandad's going to be stranded. Without stopping to think, I run forward and jump. I land on the edge of the platform with my legs hanging down in the hole. I quickly pull myself up and rush over to Grandad. With a sudden thud, the floor stops moving. Now a great pit lies between us and Rose. She stares at us through the smoke drifting out of the pit. "What did you do that for?" she cries. And then I realise I've left her all on her own. "Yes, Arthur, that was a very foolish thing to do." Croaky's voice echoes from somewhere above. He must have left the doorway because now he's staring down at us from the gallery. He paces up and down, his wings fluttering with fidgety excitement. "I'm not going to let your pathetic heroics ruin my plan. I've been looking forward to this for such a long time." Grandad tugs on my sleeve. "What's in that hole, Arthur?" I crawl to the edge of the platform and peer over. A disgusting smell drifts out of the pit. A mixture of meat, sulphur, and something that reminds me of the reptile house at the zoo. Fear prickles over my skin, as if my body can sense danger. And then, far down in the pit, I see movement. Something is crawling towards me. "What is that?" I whisper. Croaky leans over the wall of the gallery and cackles. "Someone very, very hungry. But don't worry. She only eats food from her special feeding area." "Oh no! Your Grandad appears to be chained to her special feeding area." The huge, gnarly creature creeps higher up the wall and into the dim light. She has red eyes and thick, cracked skin. Black smoke seeps from her nostrils and her teeth glint in the darkness. I gasp. "Bad dragon!" As if in reply, Bad Dragon opens her jaws in a deadly grin and breathes out. Flames race up the wall of the pit, sending me scurrying back towards Grandad. He pulls me to him and we press our backs against the wall as the flames lick our feet. "Arthur," he says, "is it my imagination, or is it getting hot in here?"